It's our midweek vlog, and today we're asking the question, is now the time to buy yourself a motorhome or caravan and get yourself a bargain? What is happening in the market? Here's a July update. If you remember from 2 videos back, we visited Great Yarmouth at the Caravan and Motorhome Club race course site, and on arrival I became quite poorly. It transpired that I got COVID, and I've spent most of the last week or so tucked up in bed and trying to recover from what has been a really bad spell. So that is why I've not been out on the dealer forecourts to put this video together for you this week. It's more a focus of me spending some time whilst I've had COVID to have a look at the state of the market and to give you an update on where things are at. Well, as I've said, I can't get out on those forecourts. I will be out there very soon as the school holidays are fast approaching, so I'll have some time during the summer holidays to go out and have a look at some of the vehicles that are coming into the forecourts and get some fresh reviews out for you. However, I did say that at the end of June, July, I would give you an update on where the market is, and are we still seeing this reduction in prices across motorhomes, and are there some genuine bargains for you to have out there? Well, there are a couple of things here really, and I think firstly what I'd like to say is that what you can see is there is a pattern to all the big manufacturers, so your Bailey, your Swift, your Eldis, your Auto Trail and the likes, in that the base prices that they're allowing their dealers to sell their vehicles for has started to come down slightly. Now, this is likely to be because there is a vast number of 2024 and a few 2023 vehicles still kicking around in the showrooms and the forecourts. So they cannot afford to be heading towards the 2025 model year with this number of vehicles sitting around. Now, it's going to take some doing to shift all of this stock, and this could have a real big squeeze and impact as we head into the 2025 model year. But that's where we are. Firstly, you are seeing that there are some big discounts that have been applied across the board. Now, secondly, what I'm seeing as a trend as I've looked across a whole range of the big dealers across the UK is that on top of that manufacturer approved discount, if you like, where they've got bigger stocks of particular vehicles or brands or models, there are some additional savings to be had. And some of the greatest savings are where I've spotted some vehicles that have been sitting around for quite some time. And in some cases, there is almost £10,000 off some vehicles. Now that's quite a big saving. And I think if you're in the market to buy a motorhome right now, this relevelling that I've predicted could be coming for some time, this rebalancing of the market, both with the new coming down and then the prices of the used following, which I'll touch on at the end of this video, now could be the time to start thinking about, is this the opportunity for us to bag a bargain? Now, we've done this already. We've traded in our previous vehicle and we've bought a brand new Swift where we did get a good discount on the base price, and we still were able to get a good part exchange. Now, that's going to be a challenge, and again, I'll pick up on that at the end. But what is happening out there? Now, during this next part, I'm going to drop in some snips from the dealer websites, some of the offers that are out there, so you can see some of the bargains that can be had. And I'm just going to walk you through how much you can save and get yourself a real deal. And I really didn't mean that to sound like David Dickinson, but let's dive in. So let's start off with Yorkshire caravans. So I've got my little notebook here, and I've made a note of some of the good deals that we've got, and I'll drop the pictures of these in for you. They've got up to £8,000 off a range of their motorhomes right now. And the most notable one actually is the £5,000 that they've got off across the whole of the Bailey Allura range. Now remember, this is the new vehicle from Bailey this year, and across the UK there are quite a number of these for sale. There's a lot sitting in the dealers, and this 5k off most of the Allura models that they have. Now there are varying discounts across the piece, and they've got a significant number of discounts across their caravans as well. They're a big caravan dealer. They've just had their Man from Swift weekend, where one of the directors from Swift has been on site and has been further reducing a lot of their caravan stock. So if it's motorhomes or caravans, there's some good deals to be had at the minute at Yorkshire Caravans. Now, whilst we're staying up in that neck of the woods, I've had a little look at Wanderhome at South Cave. So this is the one just on the edge of Kingston upon Hull. Wanderhome, a big dealer, multi-brand dealer, both with caravans and motorhomes. They do a lot of the Swift specials in the caravans. They do the Swift Ace models. But they've got quite a range of discounts across key models. And there's some interesting ones here for you. Interestingly, the Bailey Allura here, they've got up to £8,000 off. So if you're up in that Yorkshire area, you could bag yourself an extra £3,000 over Yorkshire Caravans at the minute. They're offering up to £8,000 off the new Allura model. Remember, that's the slim, narrow body, more compact vehicle from Bailey. They've also got £8,000 off the Adamo range, up to £8,000 off. So again, for that popular model that's been around for 2 or 3 years now, there's some big savings to be had. And also the end of the line autographs, which were discontinued, there is around £10,000 off, meaning you can get into one of their bigger models now for £78,000 instead of £88,000. There is also some discounts to be had across Swift models with £3,000 off some Voyagers, and there is up to £7,000 off the Swift Carrera panel vans. But the one that I spotted here was the Swift Trekker, which is the new transit-based model from Swift. And this is the first discounted one I've seen, nearly £3,000 off that brand new Swift Trekker. Interesting. And I think that could be part of the base prices being slowly pulled back down by the manufacturers. So good choice there at Wanderhome if that's a dealer near you and you are in the market right now. So let's pop a couple more slides in here for you, this time from Kimberley, who are in Nottingham and Darlington. So Kimberley Caravans Motorhomes, they've got a few £1,000s off some of their Voyager ranges from Swift, and they've got around £3,000 off the Carrera models. So not as good as what you can find at Wanderhome at the minute, but there is some money off. Now, interestingly, Bailey Alluras, again, that compact vehicle from Bailey. We have seen one of these. We got to have a look around one when we were at Don Amot's, and they're quite a stunning, smart, stylish little compact motorhome, really. So I think Bailey have knocked out quite a few of these this year, but there just doesn't seem to be the buyers there at the minute. So Kimberley, they're offering £3,000 off. So already across 3 dealers there, what I've seen, it ranges from £3,000 to almost £8,000 off the Bailey Allura models. So really do shop around if that's the sort of vehicle you're looking for, and apply that to anything really. At the minute, you can have a good look around and find better deals by just taking that time, and that's what I've done by scanning. Now also here at Kimberley, they are sitting on some of the more expensive Coachman motorhomes. So they've got a couple of Travel Masters that they've reduced by £11,000. They've got 2 of those in stock at the moment, both with £11,000 off, which puts them back at the base price that would have been at the start of 2023. So where costs have gone up for some of these vehicles over time, these discounts are taking them back. So interesting there that a couple of really smart motorhomes with big money off. And again, I've talked about these at length. They are quite dated. Is the eldest models. Across the piece, there's about £5,000 off the eldest models broadly as a ballpark in Kimberley's stock at the moment. Now also, if we're looking in that part of the world, we've got Glossop. They're up in the High Peak, so they have got a range of eldest with up to £7,000 off. They're both in panel van, they're in the coach builds, they're in the special editions that they do, and they're also in the stock models. But there's a wide range, but the biggest discounts at the minute with Glossop, because they take a big stock from eldest, like some of the dealers do, up to £7,000 off. Now, we were in this neck of the woods when we were at the racecourse in Great Yarmouth, and my plan was to get across to Simpsons, which is near Great Yarmouth, and do some of this from their forecourt and show you some of these vehicles. But I had a look at Simpsons online, as I simply couldn't get there. And they've got up to £10,000 off some of their models at the moment. Notably, again, Eldis between £5,000–6,000 off some of their vehicles. Now, what was interesting was the Auto Trail. They've done the XL range. I've done a little video of one of those in my back catalogue you can have a look at. But the Auto Trail XL, which is similar in kind of design and purpose to those Bailey Alluras, it's a compact vehicle, and they've got a range of those with £4,000 off from Auto Trail. They've got F-lines from Auto Trail with around £7,000 off. And in addition to that, they've got some Chaussons and Burstners with £4,000–5,000 off as well. So some good savings to be had at Simpsons across the piece. Now, interestingly, there's quite a few Auto Trails sitting out there at the moment, because we also had a look at Don Amott. This is where we've just bought our Swift from. Don Amott are a big Auto Trail dealer. They're also sitting on some XL models with, again, about £4,000 off. So this is the likely relevelling of the price. They've got F-lines with £5,000 off. But if you're looking for one of the bigger boys from Auto Trail, they've got the Frontier Scout, which is the longer Auto Trail. Now, there's £11,000 off those at the moment at Don Amott, bringing it down from almost £100,000 to £89,000. So a big saving on the bigger models from Auto Trail if you visit Don Amott up on the Staffordshire-Derbyshire border there. So who else have we had a look at? Let's see. So Leisure World, these are another Yorkshire dealer. They're in several locations across the piece. And again, Eldis straight off the bat, up to £7,000 off a whole range of different Eldis models from campers to coach builds. They've also got up to £8,000 off some Burstner Lizeos. I think one's got £8,000 off, one's got nearly £9,000 off at the moment. They've got the Auto Trail XL again with nearly £4,000 off. So clearly there's a move to try and shift some of those. And deals from Swift. They've got an Escape 694 like the one we've just bought, currently £8,000 off. So bringing it down from 82 to 74,000, and they've also got £7,000 off an Escape 640, which is the smaller one. So some big savings there on the Swift models too. So Loudons is a big Midlands dealer. If you've ever been to Loudons, they've got a range of manufacturers, but again, they've got a lot of savings across the piece. From camper vans, they've got some transit-based Summit vehicles, which have got £8,000 off, the little campers. They've got some Sunlight motorhomes at the minute with about £7,000 off, and they're automatics and loaded with all the packs. They've got some Malibus in the A-class form with about £6,000 off, and the same with some Death Lefts with about £5,000 off. And they've also got some Chaussons with about 6k off, and they are really well stocked in their new vehicles right now. If we also take a look then at one of the biggest motorhome dealers, Brownhills, I have never seen their forecourt so full. Not in all the years I've driven past it, not in all the times we've visited, not in the times we've bought and used the service at Brownhills. They are packed both in the showroom and on all the forecourt spaces around their showground. So at the minute, there's lots of savings across lots of different models. So they've got the Adria, the little duo campers on the Renault. They've got £8,000 off at the minute. They've got some of the Sun Living motorhomes with a whacking £11,000 off right now. They've even got Voyagers with £10,000 off. So they're sitting on some Eldis stock again. £6,000 off some of their panel vans, the CV models. We've got F-lines from Auto Trail with about £6,000 off. We've got the Ateneo A-Class model with about £8,000 off. We've got Auto Trail with the Amala with £3,000 to £4,000 off. Some Adrias with £5,000 off in their compact range, and there's even £4,000 to £5,000 off some of the Contiquis from Swift too. So what you see in here across all of these dealers is that combination of the manufacturers giving the permission to reduce the base price, because you can see a commonality across all the dealers, but also there's some additional savings where dealers have got quantities of stock that they're incentivizing for you to try and buy a vehicle from them right now. So thinking about part exchanges then, this is something to consider. We've heard this a few times while we were looking, but also since, where dealers are encouraging you not to part exchange. And in part, I think that's because they're sitting on a lot of motorhome used stock in some places. They don't necessarily want your vehicles. They've got enough of this new to sell. And also there is still such variability in what they would offer you as a part exchange trade-in price. And as this market is coming down, we're already seeing now that that's putting down on the part exchange prices too. So there is a bit of a buyer's market, but there is a bit of a buyer's market beware. It's whether you can afford to take that hit on your part exchange as well, or whether there's a different way of selling your vehicle. Only you will know the way you want to do that. But it is having the impact now on the used stuff coming through. Because my final point for this vlog for today is that the prices of the used are starting to come down too. And I'll do another one of these later in the summer, looking at where used values are. But if I give you an example, we traded in our Auto Trail tracker and that hit the forecourt a month ago at £67,000. It was then dropped a couple of weeks later, I think to around 65,000, and they've now dropped it to 64, almost a month on. So in the space of a month, that's already come down £3,000 on the dealer forecourt. And as I've been tracking across, there's a few vehicles doing the same out there in the dealer networks. And I'll do a full vlog on this, but it seems that the impact of this supply in the new is starting to have the impact on the stock of the used and your part exchange prices. So lots for you to consider if you're out there looking to change your motorhome right now. But positive is you could get yourself a motorhome at pre-24-23 prices if you do your shopping around and a bit of your research. Hope you found this one useful. I've certainly found it useful to take a little sweep through the market once again. And we will next see you when I go back for some warranty work. I'm going to be visiting Don Amot's to do 2 or 3 little warranty jobs. That's early August, so it's only a couple of weeks away, and see how we get on with the first little bit of warranty work on our new one. So we'll see you in the next one.